Hello, everyone. I'm Li Ting. Welcome to the presentation for Growing Up the Chinese Way in HKUST. We are Group 4. Our Professor, Michelle, thank you for your valuable advice. Our topic, Love More Than Chemistry, a journey of China and India, draws an intercultural comparison between China and India in terms of romantic love. First, I'll explain why we chose India. Once they shared many similarities in love, but now the two countries bifurcate in different directions. They used to be patriarchal societies in which most people had little autonomy in love and marriages. Relationships were more about family instead of individuals. Over the past century, Chinese people began to enjoy unprecedented autonomy in love, while the majority of Indian people still face many restrictions. Now, let's jump right into the topic. I'll be introducing the Chinese love with the help of traditional poetry. Yes, there were restrictions, but Chinese people still aspired to love. The first line from Cry the Osprey brings us back to Zhou Dynasty when a young man met his ideal lover. From the second part, we can see the Chinese also had romantic dating. The third poetry line describes a yearly reunion between Niu Lang and Zhinyu, who are separated by the heavenly emperor. As far as the last two lines, the first was written by Su Shi in memory of his late wife. The second poetry line is about a romantic tragedy involving Lu You and Tang Wan. The couple was forced to divorce since Lu You's parents contended that Tang Wan had become a distraction of her husband's career and that she was infertile. Indeed, the Chinese people aspired to idealistic love with passion and commitment. Their relationships were also under the pressure of family and social conventions, which can be reflected in the tales of Niu Lang Zhinyu and Lu You Tang Wan. After learning the Chinese love in poetry, let's explore the landscape of love. What is love in China? Specifically, what's the definition of it? The Chinese folklore definition of love accentuates enduring love and companionship. And love is the combination of mutual admiration and active dedication between individuals based on sexual physiology, including three basic elements: love, ideal, and sexuality. And Yang argues that the purpose of love is long-term emotional sustenance. Now, the Indian romantic love. First, India's kingdom of love is more than chemistry. The unescapable three barriers have been major obstacles to free love. For thousands of years, the religion, whether you are Hindu, Muslim, or Christian, dominates much of the spiritual realm, which cannot be easily challenged, even if it's about sincere love. The caste system shapes the Indian people's view of hierarchy. Crossing this red line is still seen as absurd in many places. Last but not least, interracial romantic love in India might trigger major anxiety among different communities. Marrying out of your ethnic tribe is often regarded to be tarnishing your own blood. Second, most Indians think that it is appropriate to enter marriage first, then romantic love may well ensue, which has been a tradition passed down for centuries. Some scholars try to ease the tension between individual love and the traditional marriage pattern. Black argues that today it's possible to strike a balance between arranged marriage and the romantic love. Third, at the philosophical level, Hinduism tends to favor true love, the spiritual one, over the physical love, the carnal one. How do Indian people express their romantic love? They send gifts, the wave garlands, the gold ornaments, and scones. And how they express their romantic love, and they express it through getting into marriage. Those young Indians with Western education mainly express their love with frequent dates. For those traditional ones, the dating before marriage is considered immoral, especially for Indians living in the poorer areas of the northern India. And in this page, we can see that on the left, we have a questionnaire to the Chinese students. The majority of them choose their lover by themselves instead of their parents. Well, on the right, we can see that although over 50% of them prefer love marriage or at least self-selection, more than 30% still prefer arranged marriage for two reasons. They are afraid of the intense love, which can be exhausting and time-consuming, or it is because it's necessary to satisfy their parents by marrying the chosen one, the likable one, from the point of view of their parents. So in general, the Chinese autonomy in relationship is larger than that of the Indians. In this slide, we can see that Chinese young people believe that the longevity and everlasting are very important both. And while the Indians are more prudent about romantic love than their counterparts. On the right, we can see that an in-depth interview showed that the love at first sight, most of the Indians are skeptical about that. It is undesirable to say love too soon, since it's statistically unlikely and morally false. The transient feeling of love is more about attraction instead of true love, which will not last for very long. Is commitment important in both countries? The answer is yes. A survey conducted by the China Youth Research in 1992, over 30 years ago, 40 of the participants agreed that love does not necessarily lead to marriage, while 70% of them agree that love should be sincere and exclusive. Over 60% agree that love is also a responsibility. Many Chinese students believe that love does not always lead to marriage, yet they take love seriously. On the right, we can see over 100 Indian participants, the college students, believe that love is more about commitment and it's also about marriages. We can see the sharp contrast, the 65 to 15. So the Chinese and India agree on this. When it comes to sex, is it open or is it conservative? The Chinese students believe that premarital sex shouldn't be discriminated as long as it is consensual, not against the will of each other. While 40 of them disagree. It's a survey 20 years ago, and they are quite open today. Comparing to other ethnic groups, Indians have fewer sex partners, they have their first intercourse postponed, and they have a lower infection rate on social transmitted diseases. And Indian young women have a lower teenage pregnancy rate. Most young Indians prefer having first intercourse after their marriage. Bazi in China elaborates the meaning behind a specific birth time, which is crucial for evaluating the compatibility of two lovers in China. The elder generation use Bazi to forecast the prospect of marriages. While the supernatural beliefs in India is more about the horoscope. Over 2/3 of the participants believe that the matching of horoscope is indispensable for a relationship. 8 of the participants are likely to end a promising relationship if the result is not desirable. After the extensive discussion, here we can see some similarities and differences in India. First, similarities. Both cultures appreciated the exclusivity and responsibility in relationships. The Chinese people celebrate the faithfulness to the partner. It's an old tradition. And also, the Hinduism and Islam give much holiness to the marriage. Both cultures are relatively prudent, while the premarital sex is more acceptable for the young Chinese people. Long-term plan matters. Being in a relationship involves complex consideration other than love. It can include housing, cars, and family backgrounds. Influenced by the traditional Chinese patriarchal structure, the Chinese female chastity has been given much importance. The virtue of a daughter in India is of great importance for the entire family. Her daughter's misbehavior could bring shame to her family, particularly when it happens before marriage. When we talk about the mystic theories, the supernatural beliefs in India and in China, they are both powerful. In China, Bazi, and in India, the belief of horoscopes. Here, the differences. Young Chinese simply enjoy a relationship with or without marriage. The Indian societies lack tolerance for love without marriage, while today's China has a better acceptability of many elements in love and in marriages. Chinese have significantly more marital autonomy. Indians tend to consider more about religions, the caste system, and think it unacceptable to marry someone coming from a different family background. The inextricable bond among family members indicates that a serious relationship is not personal. Blessing from both families is essential to an ideal love. So why the Chinese have changed so much given their historical similarities? First, the new culture movement over a century ago. we can see that new ideas started to be accepted by certain classes, which helped to eradicate much of the conventional ideas among elites and intellectuals. And then, after the founding of People's Republic of China in 1949, China ushered in a new time, helping people to sever numerous connections with the past. First comes the anti-illiteracy movement, which taught people how to read and how to write, and also avoided those blind dates and blind marriages. Ditching the four oaths, 破四旧, emancipating the women from the old conventions. They were granted with equal inheritance right, and they enjoyed free love and free marriage. Women are capable of shouldering half of the sky, which is a female empowerment movement. In the Mao era, the combination of love and revolutionary is a striking feature. After 1978, since the reform and opening up, earth-shaking changes have taken place. The economy has grown by over 32-fold. The urbanization rate has tripled. China embraces market economy, becoming more economically globalized, and Chinese people are more open to romantic love with or without marriage. And here comes the fruitful thought. Arranged marriages have almost disappeared in modern China. While such tradition remains powerful in modern India, what are the reasons behind it? Maybe it's about the caste system and the race considerations. And China is more secular, India is more religious, or it's for that China and India have different revolutionary trajectory. Or maybe the disparate genetic code in China and India contributes to their differences. We expect for your thoughts. And this is our references. Thank you.